Okay, we're back. Let's get started. Most people don't say that they're lazy. They say they were busy, which is true. Of course, they're not lying. Days are full, calendars are packed, and by the end of the day, you're tired, sometimes really exhausted. But something feels off. Even though you were busy the whole day, nothing important really moved. That feeling isn't personal failure, it's more structural. And I'll tell you why. Let's start by defining what work actually is. Historically, work used to be defined by outputs. You built something, you wrote something, you fixed something, or you shipped something. There was a visible before and after. Today, work is increasingly defined by interactions. If you replied to messages, cleared a few notifications here and there, or you updated dashboards, you attended a few calls, you checked on systems, it still counts as work. The problem is that interactions consume time and energy, but they don't necessarily create any kind of value. And modern tech is really good at creating interactions. Think about a normal day. You wake up, you check your phone, you check your messages, you check your email inbox, you attend meetings, you react to requests, you open a few apps here and there. None of these actions are huge, none of them feel difficult, but combined all together, they create the sensation of productivity. This is what researchers sometimes call as pseudo work, where an activity feels productive because it is responsive, visible, and frequent, but produces little real long term value. One reason this feels so convincing is frequency bias. The human brain associates importance with frequency. You do something so often, it feels important. Important work, on the other hand, is a bit more infrequent, quiet, and slow, like writing, thinking, designing, learning, or making big decisions. They don't trigger notifications, they don't give you instant feedback, they don't really give you immediate closure. So, modern systems train us to prioritize what's loud, not what's meaningful. And this is where responsiveness replaces importance. Modern tools reward speed. Fast replies signal competence. Availability signals commitment. Immediate responses signals responsibility. But in my opinion, responsiveness is not the same as creating value. In fact, studies on knowledge work consistently show us that interruption heavy environments do reduce deep work outputs by 30 to 40%, even when total working hours increase. So we end up working more, reacting faster, and considerably producing less. Another key reason why busyness feels important is because of closure bias. Our brains are wired to release a little bit of dopamine when you check that task off the list. It doesn't care if the task mattered or if it was that important or not. Replying to an email feels complete. Clearing notifications feels complete. Inbox zero feels complete. But real important work rarely gives that kind of closure. So it stays open. It resists completion. It often feels uncomfortable because progress is very ambiguous. So the brain naturally drifts towards something that ends cleanly and calmly, even if they don't matter to you that much. That is why checking feels productive, not because it's creating any value, because it's reducing your anxiety. There's also a data backed reason why days feel full but empty, because modern digital world dramatically increases context switching, and I think I've mentioned this in one of my previous videos. I think every time you switch tasks, your brain pays a cost. Cognitive research estimates that task switching can reduce your effective productivity by up to 40%, even when each individual task is pretty simple to accomplish. So you can definitely be busy for 8 hours and still feel like nothing moved, because the attention was fragmented across these 8 hours, right? This is not about discipline. It's about operating in a system that is designed around interruptions. Now let's talk about why this leaves us tired and unsatisfied. As of now, we know that busyness consumes energy and importance creates meaning. Mind you, these two are not the same things. You can burn energy all day managing, updating, responding, but still feel like you accomplished nothing. At the end of the day, your brain doesn't ask how much did you work today. It asks what changed because of today. And often the honest answer would be nothing. So what do you do about this? None of your productivity hacks are gonna help. None of your productivity apps are gonna help you. The solution starts with redefining work internally. A useful mental filter is this: if the internet went down for 3 hours, what would still remain? What work would still exist? That question instantly separates interaction from creation. Interaction disappears, important work remains. Once you see that difference, busyness will sort of lose its fake authority over you. Another shift is rethinking responsiveness. Set aside speed. Speed should not be the default measure. In most systems or in most contexts, delay is framed as failure. But in my opinion, delays are essential to protect thinking. Important work almost always requires uninterrupted time. That doesn't mean ignoring people. It just means that you're rejecting the idea that everything requires your immediate attention. Responsiveness just solves social tension, whereas importance solves actual real problems. These are two different jobs. The final shift is how you measure progress. Checking will just remove that task from your list, but important work actually moves something forward. So instead of asking yourself, what did I do? Ask yourself, what actually moved? Movement is often very subtle. A clearer idea, a better question, you made a tough decision, or you chose the right direction. These don't come up with dopamine hits as such, but they're the only thing that compounds over time. Listen, here's an uncomfortable truth. Modern tools are really good at keeping us occupied, but they're not helpful in deciding what requires your full attention. So the solution isn't really doing more. It's about choosing what deserves friction. Important work usually requires more attention. It is slightly uncomfortable. It feels slow and quiet. If something feels endlessly rewarding, instantly responsive, and effortless, and doesn't take much of your time, it's probably not that important. So if you feel busy all day but unsatisfied, it's not that you're failing. It's just that you're operating in systems that rewards activity more than meaning. So once you see that, your goal changes. Not to be less busy, but to protect the few things in your life that actually matter and ignore those things that actually don't matter that much to you. So that's about this video. Took a long time to write. If you ended up liking this video, don't forget to like the video. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, give it a try. With that, this is Pavan signing off.